Also, you just randomly have shit wrong with you all the time. Like, you collect stuff like it's freaking Pokemon Go or something. You're like, gotta catch them all. Good afternoon, y'all. It is Rosie here, and I want to react to Amberlynn Reid's newest video, turning to alcohol, diagnosed with BPD, and saying goodbye forever. Now, is she saying goodbye to YouTube forever? And also, why is she trying to clickbait being an alcoholic? Like, already not a good look. So, without further ado, let's get into it and see what our girl has to say today. She's been MIA for a hot minute, just doing like thirst traps on TikTok, like trying to get a woman, trying to get a man. I mean, we all remember that little pickle taste test, if you know what I'm saying. Although I don't know who she was trying to entice with that one, but guess there's somebody for everyone. And that's something I learned watching My 600-Pound Life.
Welcome to a new video. So today we're gonna do like a Q&A type style. I feel like I haven't done.
I really hate it when she does Q&A type style type things because she never actually answers stuff that I care about or that anyone cares about, really. She just answers the same crap over and over again, like my favorite color is green, or I like these lesbian actresses. Like, that's all ever.
Just like a straight up Q&A in a very long time. And I know there's probably a lot of questions, a lot of things you guys want to know, want me to talk about, clarify, explain, whatever it may be. So it's perfect time to do that. I know I have not really been posting, and honestly it's because so much is like going on up here that it's hard for me to sit and focus. Plus I've been busy out doing things.
I feel like she's not actually busy out doing things. Someone said really she's probably only doing stuff on the weekend, and I can kind of see that, and that's why we're just getting like days of zero content from her except her thirst trap TikToks, because Mama Lynn is not coming over every day of the week. She's only coming over on the weekend, and so Amber's trying to get all her filming done on the weekends to look like she's doing stuff, but she's not.
And it's just like I went through a very big moment by, you know, moving to a completely different state, living by myself for the first time in my life in this way, around family that I haven't been around since I was 18 years old. I'm 32 now. I was in
a relationship with a person that I thought I was gonna be with forever, that I literally thought I was going to marry.
I'm so tired of this whole ending a relationship with someone I thought I would be with for the rest of my life. Y'all been broken up since like July. Like, no one cares at this point. No one. I guarantee Wifey does not. And she's probably like, God, why did I waste 2 years with that person?
In order, obviously I'm gonna skip over things I either A, don't wanna talk about, things I feel like that are like too disrespectful for me, or like repeat questions, but I'm just gonna start from the top and work my way down. Let's get into it. Okay, so the first question is, why are you suddenly no longer complaining about any of your multiple health issues that were always causing you to be set back, or your mental health problems that you felt the need to feel to use as a crutch every day, suddenly healed from everything? So before I answer that, I just wanna say that's really sad that like when people are vocal about their like mental health or physical stuff, that people say, oh, you're using that as a crutch. When it's like things are too late or things have gone too far or you are too far gone, people are like, oh, you should have spoke up, you should have said something. And it's like, I am very much that person that I do speak up, I do say something. But I've noticed I have taken a lot of steps back in that regard because I am feeling constantly judged. I am feeling like people think that I do use it as a crutch or an excuse. So I think that's the reason why that I'm not talking about those things anymore, because like even in this person's question, they said like, why are you no longer complaining about these things? I never feel like I'm coming from a complaining spot. I've always just tried to take pride in like being vocal about my mental health or like things that I'm going through. But overall, the reason why I'm not talking about these things anymore is because I have taken a step back of talking about really personal things. And it's because of the response that I receive when I do that, because the response that I receive doesn't help me. It actually makes me feel worse.
I like how she really just put everything back on the audience. Like, I think the reason they're asking this question is because in the past, Amber has used certain diagnoses as excuses for reasons she wasn't doing other things, like wasn't focusing on her weight loss, wasn't leaving her house, like etc. Right? And I think as a avid viewer, you get the sense sometimes that Amber, how do I say this in a delicate way? That Amber conveniently has issues when it suits her narrative to have these issues. And then she does not talk about them when it doesn't suit her to have those issues, if that makes sense. But this, she's just trying to put it on us like, oh, I don't actually talk about it now because, like, y'all judge me. And it's like, I really don't think that there's a lot of people out here judging you for having mental health issues. I think a lot of people are more so curious or questioning because you claim to have a lot of issues, but then you don't take the necessary steps to address them in a way that most people who have those issues and are trying to live a productive life would, i.e. taking your medication, talking to a therapist, going to see a psychiatrist or a psychologist, or going to the doctor, or making appointments for yourself. Like, lots of things that people who also have the diagnoses that you have are doing. And so maybe they're just questioning if you even have some of these issues or how you're addressing them because we don't see you addressing them. Does that make sense? Also, you just randomly have shit wrong with you all the time. Like, you collect stuff like it's freaking Pokemon Go or something. You're like, gotta catch them all.
Notice an improvement in your health overall. Yeah, I do notice improvement in my health, and I'm gonna come from like my stamina area type situation, because it's like I was actually talking to my mom the other night, and I was like explaining to her like how bad I was in 2019, because she didn't even know the extent of how bad I was, because it was just embarrassing. The only people who knew were the people that I lived with. It's like I was outside, I was actually taking a walk with my mom. And
didn't she have cancer back then? How did her mom not know?
Twinkie, and I was just like, I wouldn't have been able to do this in 2019, like not even remotely close. I am able to go and do things. Science Museum is a really good example of that. Whereas in 2019, I couldn't do those things. And even my mom was like, what do you think changed? Like, how do you think?
She doesn't have cancer now? Like, isn't that the difference from 2019 to now, is cancer?
Think that you did that, like, even though you're still the same size as you were. It's because it takes work. It takes hard work to build your stamina. Like, it was very, very hard, because I still remember in 2019, when I tried to take a shower, like, my legs would shake. I would be so out of breath. Like, for even 30 seconds of me standing, I was like, it just felt like I was completely incapable as a person. It was terrifying. And I remember feeling like I'm never gonna change. I remember feeling like this is how my life is always going to be. And I had a really good friend at the time who experienced a lot of like the same things I was experiencing when it came to like my stamina, and like I literally couldn't even stand for 30 seconds. And I remember very well just like constantly talking to her about it and just saying like, is this how it's always going to be? Because that's what it felt like. I was trapped in a prison. And then slowly but surely over time, I said, no, I'm gonna get
up, and I'm gonna stand for no reason. Like, there were times where I would purposely stand for no reason.
Look at our girl. Standing for no reason. What? That's like a normal thing to just get up and stand. Like, if I've been sitting for too long, or I've been at the desk for too long, or I've been sitting here with my little lap desk for too long, I get up. I have to get up, walk around, move the stuff from the washer to the dryer, take the dogs out for a walk. Like, you just stand. It's not that it's not for a reason. It's just, does there have to be a reason to stand? It's like, what's the purpose of sitting then? Are you sitting for no reason? Like, it doesn't make sense. Lots of people stand. They have standing desks in their office. Like, there's clearly no real purpose to stand except they want to sit. Like, she makes my head hurt.
Just to build those muscles that I had lost. And a really big thing for me that changed was I stopped sitting while cooking. I stopped sitting while doing things where normally I would sit. Like, sometimes I even journal standing up. Like, you don't need to be sitting all the time. And the biggest one for me is every time I go to a store, I would tell myself, do
not get on the scooter.
I would tell myself. So all of this is past tense. So now when she goes to the store, she is getting on a scooter. Is that the vibe everyone's getting? Because that's the vibe I'm getting from this video, is that she does get on the scooter in the store now, and this is like a past tense thing.
I think a really big part of that, what made it like easier, was being with Feline, because I felt ashamed and embarrassed. I did not want her to see me like that. So not one time while being in a relationship with her did I ever use a scooter. But it's just all those tiny little things. It's just like doing more, cleaning the house when there's no reason for it.
Right, again, so that was all past tense. So now you're telling me that you do sit to cook and you do sit to journal and you do ride a scooter in the store because you're not with Wifey anymore. That's definitely what she's saying, right? Like, I'm not just reading into that. Like, that's definitely what she's saying. Okay.
It builds your stamina when you literally had none. I'm not talking about like the average person. I don't think that cleaning is going to help your stamina. I mean, go for it. But when you were pretty much bedbound, getting up and doing things that you normally wouldn't and doing them every single day, it makes it to where your stamina just improves. So then every single day you're able to do more and more. So now that
I just have to pause this. Sometimes she upsets me in ways that I don't understand. Like, I don't know why some of the things she says triggers me beyond any reasonable point. But she has done this to herself. Any level of her being bedbound is purely because our girl can't put down a fork, if y'all know what I'm saying. I was trapped in my bed for various reasons. One was crippling depression and anxiety. But that wasn't even the same. As y'all know, or some of you don't know, I had a tumor on my thigh, right? I had a bone tumor. And it was huge. And it had a tiny little stem. That's not the point. I had it for years. And as it grew, and it grew to a very sizable, it was about the size of my fist, which is ridiculous to have something that large on your thigh. It shredded every drop of muscle I had on my thigh, on my outer right thigh. Shredded the fascia. I have no muscle mass on that side of my leg at all. I have no stabilizer muscles. After they removed the tumor, they actually had to remove just like a decade of scar tissue as well. I have nothing there. I have like an empty pocket. It's freaky, okay? I was trapped in my 2-story house on the 2nd floor for months, okay? Had to learn how to walk again. Okay, y'all don't need the full, like, y'all have heard it a million times, okay? If her muscles atrophied because this lazy bitch couldn't get out of the bed because she couldn't stop eating cream puffs or symphony bars or whatever the heck she was eating, okay? Orange chicken mukbangs and whatever else, right? Whatever she could con Becky into getting for her. Or Wifey, or however many times she ate DoorDash. I bet if those DoorDash mofos could bring the shit straight to her bed, that is how she would get it delivered, okay? There's so many people out there that wish they could walk around. My mental health was just wrecked, staring at my freaking ceiling or the wall, or staring out the window, or whatever, for days on end because I couldn't move. I had to be lifted out of my bed and taken to the bathroom to use the bathroom, okay? They had to physically sit me on the toilet and pick me back up off the toilet. Do you know how embarrassing that is? We want to talk about embarrassing things, that my husband had to do that, or my mom had to do that, or my dad had to do that. Like, to be at the point where you can't drive yourself, you can't go places, you can't even navigate your own home by no fault of your own, that is an issue. You being a fat bitch that can't stop eating and just doesn't want to get out of the bed, that's not even our problem, and we shouldn't feel bad for you. And I don't feel like giving you tons of kudos for now being able to get out of the bed and walk around. It's like, you did it to yourself the first time. Why should I be congratulating you for deciding to not use a fucking mobility scooter in the store? Which, that's the other thing. When I first started being able to leave the house, I had to use those, or either had to bring my own wheelchair. And there would just be people, perfectly fine people, because you would see them. They would leave it right there at the door or in random places in the parking lot and just get up and go get in their car. So they used it, just pure laziness of not being able, like not wanting to walk the store. And then you've got to sit there and wait for someone to turn one in because lazy people are using them when you physically cannot navigate the freaking grocery store without it. It's so upsetting. And even now, as someone who can move around perfectly fine, perfectly freely, I just can't do things like skiing and whatever. Even now, it pisses me off when I see people who they'll just like hop right off of it at the door and then just go walk to their car. I'm like, are you kidding? Oh my God. She ticks me off. She ticks me off. I'm frustrated. Can you tell I'm frustrated? I'm so mad. I'm so mad.
It's been, what, 4 years since then? That person in 2019, she doesn't exist. Like, the mentality I had, who I was on YouTube, she doesn't exist.
You the same size, girl. You might even be bigger.
Anymore. Just the incapability of just living as a human. Because here I am living on my own where I need zero help. Next question is, are you in pain going out so much? No.
You do need help. Your mom has to take you to the store. You're incapable of getting an Uber. You can't ride the bus. What part of you're living there freely now? No. False.
Oh, I'm not in pain, but like obviously I do have lipedema and lipedema. So by moving more, I do swell more. So that is the part that does suck a lot. That's one thing that my body can't get used to. Has Feline ghosted you? Okay, so the answer is no. But I really hurt her after we broke up by falling in love with someone else. I hurt her a lot and I take accountability. I obviously just could not control falling in love with someone else. I very much fell in love. I did. And it just was really hard for her and it became hard for me and it became a very big mess. And it just really went to show like how much she did love me and I felt horrible and I tried to fix it, but I kept failing at fixing it and it made it to where she doesn't even want to continue being my friend. So I went through like a whole separate heartbreak in private. Like, I just feel like I'm reliving the heartbreak just a million times over. We were cordial for a bit after she left. We would text. Then, like, almost daily I would text her, like, I love you, I miss you, because I just felt like I needed her to know. And I needed her to know that I was sorry that I hurt her.
Dang, she doesn't even want to be Amber's friend. Why does that sound like every ex Amber's ever had? They don't want to be her friend. They don't want to spend time with her. They don't want to be around her because she's such a bad person.
I talked it over with a friend and they said, I think it's time that you just like respect her and stop contacting her, and it's been really hard. This is going to sound dumb to some people, but I am on day 5 of not contacting her. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, that's so unhealthy. Trust me, I get it. I have mental illness. And Feline was my very best friend for like over 2 years. You know, I thought I was going to marry her. And it's just been really, really hard. So
who is this friend?
And I'm going to be respecting her wishes, even if it's really freaking hard. Like, it's been so hard. Like, I have wanted to call her, I've wanted to text her, and just these last 5 days.
Are you sure Wifey didn't, like, fucking ghost you and that's what your TikTok was about the other day? That might have been it.
And it's like, I can't. And it's just been
was my very
a lot of level of torture because I miss her so much. And I just think out of respect for her and for myself and for our relationship, I don't want to talk about her. And I know a lot of people think that like I'm going to come on here and say bad things about her. Not going to happen. It's never going to happen. Next question is, do you think it's wise to be drinking all the time with all the medications you are on? I actually am not on any medications at all. I can't tell you the last time I took a medication. It's been months since I've been off of like anxiety medicine or for my bipolar, but I actually am taking a break on the whole drinking thing because I felt like I was turning to it. I did go through a phase a couple years ago where I was turning to alcohol, and the last time I drank was on live stream. I was drinking whiskey. It's because I was turning to alcohol because I just felt like I needed something so I didn't have to feel what I was currently feeling. And that's when I told myself, okay, I need to stop drinking because I'm not going to use alcohol as a crutch. I'm not that person, or at least I thought I wasn't that person. But when I told myself I was going to stop drinking, I was able to do that. I didn't drink for about 1.5 years. And now I'm finding myself going back to that. Like at first I was like, you know what? Single era, I live by myself, have a couple drinks. There's nothing wrong with that. But then I realized
there is something wrong with that. It's so sad to just be sitting at home drinking by yourself. What? Okay,
I like the way this makes me feel. I like that it's taking away certain emotions, heightening other emotions, and it's making me feel good. Then I started doing it more frequently, and I kind of want to just take like a little break until I heal a little bit more. Have you finished unpacking? Yes, I unpacked.
So the turning to alcohol was just this one little excerpt about her drinking at home alone for the last like month. That's it. She didn't even drink anything good. She drinks that weird stuff that you get at like the Dollar General.
About if you'd ever get back with one of your past girlfriends. Oh my gosh. If circumstances were different, I would definitely get back with Feline. Yes, I would. Have you found a new therapist? I actually have not. So this is actually a good question to kind of lead into something else. A little bit of a backstory is, as you guys remember, I had to do 12 sessions of therapy to get weight loss surgery because I was trying to do that. And then I did the 12 sessions and then I continued seeing the same therapist, actually psychologist. I liked him a lot, so I stayed. And then remember when I told you guys, okay, well, I have to go to a new psychologist who actually specializes in something different, and I didn't feel comfortable saying what it was. I actually only got to see that psychologist one time because I ended up moving to a completely different state and I wasn't able to keep the same psychologist, obviously. But I guess now is the time to say, I really did not want to share this. I don't know why, but I think it's something that, like, out of the diagnoses I've got my whole life ever since I was 9, which I was 9 and diagnosed with depression for the first time because, like, I was in foster care, and just no 9-year-old should ever be diagnosed with that. But since then, you know, I've been diagnosed with OCD, I've been diagnosed with PTSD, bipolar, and those things were like so much easier for me to accept, and I don't really know why. I was actually diagnosed on my 19th session with my psychologist with borderline personality disorder. And for some reason, I had a hard time accepting that, and still have a hard time accepting that because it's obvious. It's obvious that I have borderline personality disorder, and it's something that, like, I always purposely pushed away. Like, people would contact me and be like, you know, you seem like you have BPD, and I just automatically would shut them down and be like, nope. I don't know what it is. I think it's because with everything else, you know, like anxiety, okay? Take some medicine, try some Zoloft, see if that helps. Bipolar, take some mood stabilizer, see if that helps, you know, but with borderline personality disorder, there isn't really a medicine for that.
Yeah, but she has all these issues, or supposedly has all these issues, and doesn't take any of the medication. Also, Amber doesn't want to have BPD because she doesn't want to put any effort in and get treatment, because that's not an immediate fix. It's not something easy that she can do and be like, hey, look at me, I'm better. She would actually have to put in the effort, the work, to change something.
You have to work, and it's just like this.
You heard it. You have to work. And if we know anything about Amber, she can't work on anything except weight gain.
Diagnosis explains literally probably 95% of the reason why I am the way that I am. And I don't know if I want to, like, talk about it anymore because, again, it's hard for me to accept. I don't know why. It's that one thing where I kept telling myself, this can't be real, this can't be true, and it is. And now it's just something else that I have to put in work, and it's just, maybe I feel like it's a bit unfair, and then I have to remind myself life isn't fair, you know? People are dealt their cards, and it's kind of like how you play.
But here's my thing. She can sit here and boo-hoo about the whole thing. I didn't want to tell y'all, blah, 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 blah. But it's like, if she's not going to put in the work at all, what's the point in even telling us? And you know what it is? The point is, later on, something's going to happen, maybe in a week or two, and she's going to be like, oh, that's my BPD. That's my untreated BPD. That's why I did that. That's why all my exes left me. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's going to be a new crutch.
Next question is, give us the tea on the guy who ghosted you. There's like a rumor that a guy ghosted me. I'm just going to say right now that that rumor is not real. I don't know where that came from. Any changes you've noticed from your hysterectomy? Yes, my hair. My hair is the #1 biggest change besides not having a period. Thank God. My hair, you can't tell now because it is straight, but my hair texture has completely changed. It's like curly and like, it's just like, it looks dry and just not good. It's a texture that I do not like, so that's why I choose to straighten it so you guys can't tell. But on top of...
She literally just needs to cut it. I'm still team get a bob. I will always be team get a bob. She just needs to cut it. It looks so bad.
Okay, I've had a lot of people ask if I will be doing Vlogmas this year, and honestly, I don't know.
Vlogmas is too much work. And like I said before, Amber hates doing any amount of work.
Because my last Vlogmas was my favorite Vlogmas of all time. Because I remember how I felt during it. Not a lot of people have to enjoy it. It's fine. I mean, if you enjoyed it, thank you so much. But it's like, for me, a lot of my memories come from like, how did that make me feel? I remember how people make me feel, how situations make me feel, above anything else. And I remember Vlogmas making me happy. I felt happy, I felt at home, I felt content, I was sad for it to end, and it's because of the things I was doing in Vlogmas. I know I just said I wasn't gonna talk about Feline much, but she is a very large portion of the reason why I enjoyed Vlogmas so much. I feel like we had a very good time, and so now when I think of Vlogmas, I think of her. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna manage. So for right now, I do not know. I love Vlogmas, but...
Do I love it enough to every day be super sad over it? I don't know.
So we can't enjoy holidays now without our ex-non-girlfriend, Wifey. And she can't do her job without her ex-Wifey. They've been broken up for half the year. You can't keep using that. She's going to use it until she gets a new one, isn't she? Yeah, y'all already know.
Next question is, you should explain your TikToks. Oh my god, my TikToks. A lot of people think that they have like hidden meaning.
Girl, I don't think there's any hidden meaning to your little thirst traps on the Tik of Tok. They're exactly what they look like they are. Thirst traps.
They don't. I just really enjoy dancing, lip syncing. Some people call them thirst traps. Definitely not. I'm just kind of...
For the lack of a better term, I'm just feeling myself. I don't know.
She's just real struggling to get a girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever, caretaker, to take care of her. She's too old. She's too old. She's not reaching the same lesbians she was before. And she's struggling. She's struggling. She could be single for years, y'all. We got years of thirst traps to look forward to. Years.
I just enjoy being that. And by that, I don't really know what that means. I just enjoy that. So if you go to my TikTok and you see...
Yeah, but why aren't you doing those in your YouTube shorts? She could be doing those in YouTube shorts and actually getting paid for it. Why isn't she? Why isn't she? That's what I want to know. Why are they not your YouTube shorts?
You'll know what I mean. I just enjoy that Amberlynn. That Amberlynn to me is fun. What's it been like getting to reconnect with your mom? It has been so amazing. We have so much time lost that I think that we're trying to make up for. And I have noticed some people saying like, why do you only hang out with your mom? Like, well, I mean, I've only been here for a month. My whole life, I didn't have her. And we're both in a situation where we have each other and we're both wanting to build that relationship, whether it's mother-daughter or just a friendship. Because at this point right now, it's like, she doesn't 100% know how to be a mom, even though she's doing an amazing job. And I don't even know if I know how to be a daughter, as freaking crazy as that sounds. So we're just trying to reconnect and we're having fun.
Does she not know how to be a mom? She's got like 5 kids, right? Was she not a mom to any of them? Is she not a mom even though she gave birth? She's still a mom. Maybe not a good mom, but she's still a mom. I'm just feeling like a particular way about that, I guess, because I'm pregnant right now. But it's like, you can't relive your childhood. You can't make up for the time that was lost. Your like adolescence with your parent is going to be what it's going to be. So if they weren't involved in that and you didn't have a relationship with them then, you can't get that back. You can have a relationship as 2 adults together that could be your mom now. You know what I mean? Like, you can establish a relationship with them moving forward, but you can't make up for what you didn't have. You can't like relive that, recreate that, try to do it the way you want to, because we don't get do-overs. And then I think the relationship itself is not going to end up being like a positive, like a good relationship, because if your intentions are to like make up for your shitty childhood, then it's not going to work out. What you could do is seek out a relationship as 2 adults who want to be together and be a family and go from there. And don't bring in that past hurt and trauma and the things you didn't have into this new relationship. If she's different now and you're different now, move forward. Create a new relationship where you come together as two adults who actually want to spend time together, and not as a child and a mom trying to create a bond that's not there.
With each other, and we have not just fun with each other, but we have those tough conversations. She has done a lot of apologizing, and we've talked so much about the past, and it's just been really good bonding experience for sure. What is the best part of living in Oklahoma besides being closer to family, and what's been the worst part of living in Oklahoma? So the best part is the fact that I actually love it here. I don't know why, but when I lived here when I was 18, it was just for like 6 months or something. I hated it. I don't know if it was like where I was living. I didn't really go anywhere. Now I go a lot of different places, but I just love it.
At the risk of sounding like a bitch, where does she go? Bingo? Marshall's? The grocery store? It's not really going anywhere.
Like, people here are so nice, and I don't know what it is. Like, the energy feels good to me. Worst part has been, obviously, my random waves of loneliness, for sure. Like, no matter how much family's around you, or whatever it may be, sometimes moving to a new place with new surroundings where you have to create a new routine, especially without someone that you love, it does create a sense of loneliness, and that has been really hard. And I know that obviously another worst thing is gonna be tornadoes in the damn summer, ice and snow in the winter. Not looking forward to that. Next question is, what areas of your life are in need of the most improvement? Definitely my weight, like 100%. Do you only leave the apartment on the weekends? No, I leave on the weekends, during the week, just whenever I have plans. Are you going?
Y'all, this video is so lame. I have so much to do, so I need to get back to it, but, I don't like that she's trying to clickbait alcoholism. I love it for her that she has a new, very exciting, very unique, very quirky diagnosis. I love that for her. I really, 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 really wish that she would just leave Wifey alone. Winifred, Jade, Folder, Feline, whatever y'all want to call her, she needs to leave the girl alone. And just move on. Just move on. She's doing the most. She just keeps bringing it up over and over and over. Oh my God. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what it's like because Tom and I are together. He hasn't left me yet. But God, it's just too much. I know people who were married for like 25 years, lost their spouse unexpectedly to cancer, like real quick, like a 3-month turnaround from finding out they had cancer to dead. And they don't talk about it as much as Amber. God, Amber is just dragging this out. Oh my God. Anyway, that's all I gotta say about this. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye. Or bus.